Hi everyone, this is Luna from Aspie Gamer Girl and today we are gonna play and review Regency. Before we start with this video, I want you to take into consideration that this is just a prototype of the game. Things that you may see, like the quality or layout of the game, may change. For you to be able to see how the game develops, go to their Kickstarter campaign. The game will be available until October 28. So let's take a look how to play the game. Regency is a game for 2 to 6 players in which each player collects citizens from different castes. The first player to have at least one citizen of each caste wins. Each player selects one of the 18-player mats. Players cannot play characters of the same caste. Shuffle the citizen cards and place 6 cards face up on the table, forming a grid of 3 by 2. Place the deck next to them. Shuffle the event cards and deal 4 to each player, and place the deck on the table. The player with the highest caste starts the game. Turns continue clockwise. In a turn, the player decides if they want to play event cards or gain influence. When playing event cards, the player can play as many cards as they want. There are 2 types of event card: action and reaction cards. The reaction cards can be performed at any time once the conditions on the card are fully met. Action cards must be played during the player's turn. The event cards can be wild or specific to a caste. The wild cards don't have a citizen restriction to be played. To play specific cards, the player must have a citizen from that caste or a matching regent. If the player wants to gain influence, they must use their cards to gain the influence points on the bottom corner of the cards. The cards can be used regardless of their caste. You must use the influence to attract citizens. The player will lose any remaining points. At the end of the turn, the player may discard any cards and draw up the hand limit. The player ends their turn with 4 cards in total. At all times, the populace must have 6 citizens. Once a citizen is removed, shift the cards clockwise until the first spot is empty. Then, fill it with a card from the deck. The cost for each citizen varies according to their location. You will need 5, 6, or 7 influence points to get them. You can only attract citizens from the bottom row. You might be able to get any of the citizens with an event card. When getting a citizen, the player must stock it under their respective caste. If a citizen has more than one caste, it can be placed in any of them. Once the citizen is placed, it cannot be reassigned unless an event card allows it. The game ends once a player has at least one citizen of each caste. That player wins the game. So this is how you play Regency. As you see, to set up the game is really easy, and I really appreciate that. Sometimes it takes a long time for you to set up a game, and more when it's a game designed up to 6 players. Another thing I really enjoy is the size of the box. The box is really light. It's a small box holding a lot of strategy and history. I talked to James, the designer of the game, about how I enjoy the diversity in gender and in race of the characters, but I told him that I would like to see some variation on the mats, because you have like 18 mats, but all of them play the same. So I thought it could be nice to add some change to each mat. So if you pick this one over this one, you may get something, your strategy can change, and so on. And his answer was amazing. I was like, okay, yeah, you're right. His answer was, the reason why I have 18 mats is to give the players the possibility of choosing whatever race, whatever gender, whichever character they want. And I think that is an awesome reason to have so many mats. And something that I really enjoy about the mats is that they have like this summary with the name of the person, so you are not just playing to be that character, but you can also learn about it, which is really nice. And that said, I would like to see on the cards also the name of the citizens, because in that way you can actually also learn about it. Another important thing is that the game is colorblind friendly. We have the symbols that represent each cast, but we also have a color for each of them. But the color is more like a background thing to like a little something, but the symbol is what you are actually paying attention to. On the cards, on the citizens, on the mats, there is a lot of inclusion in race and gender. And I think it is really nice to see it, and more in a game based on history, because usually history games are based on battles or things like that, and most of the characters are male. Oftentimes you see only white characters, and it's nice to see a character that might look like me. On the other hand, there is a lot of strategy in this game. As I told you, it's a small game full of history and strategy. The strategy varies all the time, and I really enjoy that they are giving you two options to how to play your card. You can play them as actions, or you can play them as influence points, and this changes how the game is played. You might be about to win the game, and then someone has an action that says, I can take one of your citizens. So it's really dynamic. There are so many things going on in your turn and other players' turns that you have to be paying attention all the time of what is happening. So that makes the game really active. I play test this game for 2 up to 5 players, with different type of players. People that are really into heavy board games, people that are more like into light board games, and people that are not into board games at all. And all of them really enjoyed the game. They had a lot of fun. I have done play testing for other games, and at the end of the play testing, they're like, can we play Regency again? Do you have it with you? We want to play it. And we don't play it once, we play like at least twice. I totally recommend this game, like for inclusion, for how it plays, the strategy. I think that the game is really dynamic, and the fact that it's so light makes it really easy to take with you. With the people that I play, we prefer the game to be played from 3 players or more. Basically, this is it. The 3 words that I will use to describe this game is historical, versatile, and strategic. I hope you enjoyed as much as we had, and remember, the game will be available on Kickstarter until October 28th.